Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off today.
And I'm Tom Sherry.
But we don't know enough yet about the pandemic's course and trajectory to be able to do that. So this remains an extremely alarming situation.
COVID restrictions on many small businesses that were set to expire in Washington on Monday will now stay in place through the holidays and into the New Year's. Governor Jay Inslee announced today that he's extending his shutdown on bars, restaurants, and other small businesses through January 11th. To break down exactly what that means, we go now live to our political reporter, Casey Decker.
Yeah, well, Tom, the basic gist is everything you do and can't do right now, you still won't be able to do for at least another month. As a refresher, here is a partial list of some of those restrictions. Indoor dining is banned. Pretty much all indoor venues are shut down, like gyms, bowling alleys, and movie theaters. Retail stores and places like barber shops and salons are limited to 25% capacity. Religious services also have to stay at 25% with a max of 200 people. And the biggie, any sort of indoor social gathering anywhere is banned unless all participants take specific quarantine protocols. And these restrictions actually aren't quite as tough as the ones in March, despite new case numbers now being significantly higher.
What we did last spring was dramatically more disruptive to our economy and individuals' lives than we're doing right now. We're trying to avoid much more devastating economic pain that we suffered in the spring. Difficult as these restrictions are, they're in a much more limited number of parts of our economy than we did last spring. So we're trying to avoid that devastating and numbers of unemployment and the devastation that causes, while simultaneously being able to restrain the growth of this enough so that our hospitals are not overwhelmed. That's the goal.
Inslee said today it's difficult to tell how well these rules have worked so far. Statewide data from the past week suggests case numbers might be starting to level off. You can see a little bit there, but health experts still expect a surge from the Thanksgiving holiday to take effect. The governor says he'll reevaluate whether to extend or end this proclamation as we get closer to that January 11th date. And this time, Inslee says the metric he's actually most concerned about, hospitalizations, not just case numbers. A startling 80% of ICU beds are currently full in Washington, and the threat of overwhelming hospitals will need to diminish before any restrictions can start to be lifted. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
All right, Casey, thank you very much. And with Governor Inslee extending statewide COVID restrictions, Spokane businesses will continue to be impacted. Restaurants can only offer outdoor dining or takeout, and in-store retail limited to 25% capacity. Local business owners are bracing for the shutdown to continue. Want to go live now to Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward joining us this afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us, Mayor. First question, what's just your reaction to the governor extending this latest round of restrictions today?
Yeah, Mark, thank you for having me on your show today. Not surprised with the extension. We've seen many restrictions extended in the past several months. We were actually bracing for a possible shutdown similar to what we saw in March. Thankful that hasn't happened. But with this extension of just about another month where businesses can't open fully or even at 50%, many of the restaurants don't have outdoor space, don't really also have a business model for takeout. It's frustrating for them. And I think if the government is going to continue to extend these restrictions, they need to be able to come to the table financially to help these businesses. We heard the state is making $50 million more dollars available, but we need more.
And I want to ask you about that, Mayor, because we have been hearing in the latest shutdowns and then the ones as well today about this grant money that is available for small businesses. Kind of what are you hearing from local small businesses, and are they able to access this money as of yet?
Well, not the $50 million yet. The governor did make $130 million in various types of relief available earlier. But you just can't get this money into the communities fast enough. The mayors in Spokane County also have signed off on a letter that we sent right before Thanksgiving to our congressional delegation asking Congress to pass a federal stimulus bill. We just had a conversation last week with our Congresswoman Kathy Morris Rogers. She indicated that Congress is indeed working on that and may not come home for Christmas until the bill is passed. So encouraged by that. I also understand that the state is sitting on at least another $100 million in CARES Act funding, had a conversation with one of our senators about that, as well as $1.7 billion in budget reserves. So I think, if the government is going to close down our businesses, we need more financial support.
And Mayor, I just kind of wonder, how do you try to balance this? Because obviously on one hand, we have businesses that are just really struggling right now as we head into these winter months. On the other hand, you have a lot of people who are really concerned about the surging case numbers. How do you managing the case numbers with trying to allow businesses to survive right now?
Well, it's a tough balance, Mark. We have to have a safe and healthy community. But we also have to have a community that's safe and healthy because economically they're doing well also. So it's a big challenge. It's not easy. It's not one or the other. It's all of it. And that's why the city of Spokane is working really hard to provide reasons for people to get out and enjoy themselves, enjoy the holidays, enjoy some of the traditions that they have been able to do in the past. Also, while they're downtown or in our business districts, to support those businesses that are still open. Because, they were just starting to rebound, being in phase 2 for several months when these new restrictions happened. And so they were really relying on the holiday season to make up for lost ground. Many of them aren't going to get that.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of folks sitting at home tonight that really would like to help a small business out. Do you have any advice or maybe something they could do to help our local economy out right now?
Gift cards from small businesses make great stocking stuffers and holiday gifts. When you're out and about, as many are still doing their holiday shopping or coming down to Riverfront Park to ice skate on the ice ribbon or enjoy the lights in the park, stop by and pick up, take it to go or curbside from local restaurants. Support as many of our local small businesses as you can.
All right, Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward, thank you for your time today.
You bet.
Well, the Washington Hospitality Association believes extending restrictions on Washington restaurants and bars will mean thousands more people will suffer and many more businesses will permanently close. But Governor Inslee said there is scientific certainty that closing indoor dining is having a positive impact on cases. He says it is beyond a reasonable doubt the infections take place in eating establishments.
We know that restaurants are safe. Restaurants have proven safe. When you track cases back to where they came from, they're not coming from restaurants. And when they follow the rules, we're almost finding no cases coming back to restaurants.
Our Amanda Rowley will have more on this reaction from our own local restaurants. That's coming up on KREM 2 News at 5 o'clock.
And we understand this is a lot of information. So for more details on the extended restrictions, just text the word restrictions to 509-448-2000 and we'll send it directly to your phone. All right, let's talk weather now. Rain is returning to the forecast, but with cold temperatures, Tom, could that also mean snow?
Well, we're going to talk about the cold temperatures maybe over the weekend, but look at that, Mark. 46 degrees right now. I thought we'd get up to 40, so I'm loving 6 degrees on the plus side of that. You can see the wind is out of the southeast at 3 miles per hour as we've got a wet weather system headed our way from the southwest. Already seeing rain over on the west side of the state, a little bit along the east slopes of the Cascades. All of that will show up in our area now. The timing looks like it will be in the overnight hours and may fall in I think mostly as rain, but there's always the possibility of freezing rain if we get down to about 33 degrees. And then tomorrow's high will be 40. We could see a little rain or snow early in the morning, freezing rain or snow, but it won't last long. It'll change over to rain showers as we look for a daytime high of 40 degrees. And I think most of our precipitation that we see will be in the early morning hours and up through the mid-morning hours, and then it will move over into Idaho. So for the weekend, I've got that colder weather that you were talking about. Chance of snow showers developing Saturday night into Sunday morning before it changes over to rain Sunday with a daytime high of 38. I'll check the rest of your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
Looking forward to that, Tom. Thank you very much. And still ahead tonight, we are seeing COVID outbreaks at local correction centers. Coming up after the break, we'll bring you those updated numbers. Stay with us. We're back after this.